All right, hey guys, Jason here. We're back. Let me turn that air down a little bit so it's not blowing on this mic. There we go. Excuse me. Woo. All right, now we're kicking it off. But anyway, we are on the way out hunting. Got my bike on the back. You might be able to see it back there. E-bike back there. We're heading into a WMA and go and chase some deer around and scout and try and find a place in an area we've never been. And but while we're driving out here, I thought we'd make a video today after watching some of this stuff, and we hear these things and we talk about it a lot, but this new style of archery for traditional archery, is it any good in a bow hunting world? And there's a lot of misconceptions about this. I myself too have said many times that there's a big difference between bow hunting and target archery, and I do believe that still. There's a lot of variables that come into play and a lot of things, and I am pretty set in my ways with how I like to, I don't really care too much about target archery or the methods that are there. I'm more interested in the bow hunting aspect. But let's put all that aside and let's look at it from a real world standpoint here and put it into perspective. I've been watching a lot of videos lately just on friends and people shooting and, whoo, a little bumpy there. But people shooting their bows and doing 3Ds and watching videos from ETAR and things like that. And I will tell you that, hunting has evolved so much today that it's not like it was even 30 years ago where there was a lot of still hunting. The things like how I hunt hogs, that doesn't happen in a modern hunting world very often anymore. Now, most of the time, it's all done from tree stands or ground blinds. It's stationary. It's, known distances, coming into specific things. And, hunting is just different than what it used to be many years ago. With that said, the shooting, when it comes to the actual shooting styles, there's no reason to think that a target archer or somebody who excels at that kind of stuff cannot shoot and hunt very, very good with those styles. They most definitely can. Now, we see a lot of things that we consider as old school guys, we consider unorthodox. String walking, these people where they're grabbing a string 6 inches below where the arrow is, and their arrow is way up here by their eye, but they're anchoring underneath their chin down here low. Like you got all these weird things that you just wonder, how in the heck can that even work for tillering? And you see all these different things, or they're counting the strings and they're serving and coming down and string walking, and we see all these kind of things happening in a target world, nose band-aids and, chest guards and stuff like this. And a lot of us, we kind of think, wow, that's target archery. That's not hunting. However, when you put it into real world perspective, do you think for 1 second that these amazing target archers would not be great hunters, that they couldn't hunt very, very well? Look at Chris Spikes, for example. There's a perfect example of somebody who's won countless tournaments, a lot of tournaments, and he's probably one of the best shots I've ever seen when it comes to real world hunting situations as well, too. And then you take people like, if you watch, you look at Zernzak. Look at Matt Zernzak. You mean to tell me that you're going to try and tell me that somebody like that he is not a good hunter? You bumped your head. I mean, that guy, if an animal walks in range, he puts it down. It's just the way it works. I mean, his skills with a bow are insane. A lot of these guys, even look at Joel Turner with his thumb, hook and that he grabs a string with, and all these things that, again, we think of as unorthodox or, trying to reinvent the wheel or do something different. They work, and they work solid. Look at She Shoots Trad on YouTube. Look it up. Okay, Maddie Mads, I think, is her thing on like Instagram and stuff like that. She's Maddie from the UK. Maddie, I think it's Hammond, one of those. I can't remember her last name exactly. But you want to talk about somebody who has the ultimate form in precision and ice in her veins when it comes to pressure. You watch her shoot. She was at ETAR last couple of years, but I watched a lot of those ETAR videos, and she's put some on there too. And you watch her shoot in her style and what she does. She's probably one of the best archers I've ever seen as far as that. Now, just give her another 5-8 years and watch. I mean, I'll bet if she wanted to and started getting into competition, she could dominate. She would crush it. That style, these people, these target archers, these people that focus on that stuff, there's no doubt in my mind that they're not perfect killing machines if they actually were to get in the woods and use that stuff and hunt if they wanted to, and many do. Her being from the UK, it's not really an option over there. But I'm just saying that this different style of shooting that we consider as target archers, and we think of it as it has no business in the woods of traditional bow hunting, and it doesn't work as well for traditional bow hunting. I agree with that on many aspects. I mean, I can get down and sit flat on the ground and I can shoot that way and I can do very good. String walkers can't do that. There's a lot of things that I can do, or a traditional bow hunter that only focuses on bow hunting type scenarios and shots can possibly do, versus things that are a target archer's form that require a target archer's form. But today, and the way hunting is done today, and most of the way hunting is, tree stands, ground blind, the way things are, there is no reason why target archery can't be used very good in the world of bow hunting. It really isn't. And even as much as I want that to not be true, and I want people to stick to the roots and to the way things were and keep their shot distances close and, use the instinctive and the split vision and the, gap and, be able to do this stuff and, keep that romance of how hunting was alive and all this kind of stuff. I also have to realize too that I'm just getting old, stubborn, and cranky, and there's a whole new world of people out there today that are doing things, and honestly, they shoot a heck of a lot better than I'll ever dream of. I would never in a million years ever want to walk onto a 3D range with somebody like Zernzak or somebody like Maddie. I would never want to ever shoot against them under any circumstances if there was a cash value or pride or anything other than just having a good old time and fun, which then I would love to shoot with them in a heartbeat. But as far as like if there was stuff on the line, no way. I'd just forfeit to begin with before I even got there. There's no chance. And there's no way or reason why we could think that those people can't be incredible in the woods. Again, even with these crazy things that just look different to us with the weird anchors and the different draw techniques and all the things that they got going on. Even seeing spring rests back on recurve bows and machine risers and all these things that are a world that I am not used to and I do not understand. I cannot for 1 second ever say that they're not excellent shots. I really could never say that. And that they don't really, that they haven't learned to keep their cool. I fall apart all the time when it comes to deer. Hogs, I'll shoot hogs all day long and I don't have a care in the world as far as like pressure or like losing my cool. A doe at 6 yards will make me come unglued. My knees are cranking and rattling. My bow's shaking. I'm freaking out. My heart's racing. I'm breathing heavy. Everything's all out of whack. These guys, that work under these pressures on these 3D ranges and that they do this stuff for these kind of things, they are on a level that I've never seen before, and in my opinion, probably the best shots in the world when it comes to this stuff. Now, I'm not taking anything away from instinctive either. Believe me, I've made some shots as an instinctive bow hunter that blow my mind. Not distance or stupid shots, just things that you're like, wow, that was purely, I wasn't even involved in that shot. That shot just happened how it happened. I did with no part of it. This is a world we live in today, and these guys are proving themselves as, like I said, something that 10 years ago we looked at as kind of weird, oddball, kind of frowned upon, thought of as something different, not really in a bow hunting realm, but more of a target archery realm, and a difference between them. Yet here we see all these guys that are really, really good at 3D being really, really good at shooting deer. And we see it all over the place. And people that are really, really good at target and 3D archery and doing all their weird crawls. I don't know what all this stuff is called, but doing all these weird things they're doing with their bows, and yet they're killing elk, they're killing antelope, they're killing mule deer, they're killing deer, whitetails, they're killing everything without problems, and they're doing it well. I still do not agree with the long distance BS stuff. No way, under no circumstances. But you got to give credit where credit is due. And there is no denying that these guys with these new systems, they can shoot lights out nonstop, and they are very, very good at it. Which means if you put them in a tree stand or a ground blind, they're most likely going to be very, very lethal and very, very humane and accurate. And that's what we're looking for. So, my hat's off to these guys that do that stuff, that put that time and energy into that are willing to do that are out there enjoying the 3D world, enjoying shooting a bow in general and all the things that come with it. You keep doing what you're doing. Even, like I said, if we give you a little attitude sometimes, again, more so in the past for me, like I said, you get stubborn and you don't want traditional archery to die. You don't want ASL bows to go away. You don't want the Howard Hill style of doing things gone. You don't want to have the, Ben Pearson. You don't want to have all this stuff of history lost. You want it to be what it was, and you get kind of nose turned up in attitude towards people that start changing that and doing weird things. And You know what? It's not our place to do that. And these guys have proven themselves time and time again to be incredible. And just wanted to acknowledge that. Questions, comments, put them below. Thanks for watching.